Hey, good morning. Welcome back to polkzoo channel and the guitar letter system. I'm half asleep here. Hey, I want to talk about waking up a 50-year-old Martin guitar. This is a nylon string, but this is an interesting sounding guitar. It's got a lot of folk in it, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of a cross between a classical and a steel string. It doesn't have the real bright like steel string thing, but it's got a certain folksy tone, a certain body, a certain depth, a certain presence. This is a really interesting guitar, and I've been waking it up, and I want to share my process for waking it up. This is a classical. I think the model is an 0016C. It's from 1969, so it's like a 55-year-old guitar. But what I did to wake this up, and the results were absolutely amazing, is a lot of harmonics, because I think harmonics have a broader spectrum of tone. I think they can get into the wood a little easier and kind of treat the wood and help the wood become more resonant, because the harmonics are broader, yeah, as opposed to just playing notes. When you do harmonics, I think that penetrates the wood and kind of wakes up, kind of shakes the molecules, kind of wakes up the molecules, kind of gets them to maybe even reorganize a little bit and become more resonant. So what I did with this guitar, and like I said, the results were absolutely amazing, is I did a lot of harmonics like this on the I'm in dad gab, by the way, and then I just let it resonate, and then over on the 7th fret, let it resonate and just, kind of treat the wood. And I did this for, like periods of a half an hour, 40 minutes. I mean, I'd stop once in a while and do some chords or whatever. But I did a lot of these harmonics. Sometimes I'm doing way up here too. Because like I said, I think the harmonics cover a lot more overtones, and I think they're a little more transparent and easier for the wood to absorb and for the wood to then be treated. So the results were absolutely amazing. And this guitar sounded nice when I first got it, but it's a whole different guitar now. The mid-range came out. The bass definitely improved a lot. This is really a nice guitar. This is going to be hard for me to let go. That's not sales bullshit. It just has a really, really beautiful tone. I don't want to drop my camera here. Really a beautiful tone. Hopefully you can hear it. But if you buy a guitar that's older, 30, 40, 50 years old, especially 40, 50 years old, like this one's like, I think around 54, 55 years old, that hasn't been played much, the difference in how this guitar sounds now and how it sounded when I first got it is really amazing. The guitar's come alive, it's got presence, broader spectrum of tone, better reverb, better bass, and like I said, I would do this for periods of half an hour to 45 minutes. On the 12th fret, it's the 7th. And I would do this for a couple, like probably a total of a couple hours a day in periods of 30 to 45, 50 minutes, So harmonics, and just let that treat the wood. Wait, you know, then on the 7th, wait, 5th. Because, you know, a lot of guitars that haven't been played, they kind of fall asleep. I know it sounds kind of Star Trek-y, but it's true that the wood's not used to resonating, because a guitar, an acoustic guitar like this is what's called a tune port speaker design. And, you know, the wood needs to kind of learn to become more resonant. And by doing a lot of harmonics, it really helps. This is really a special guitar. Whoever buys this, I think, is going to be pretty blown away. It just really has a sound. Again, not a performance, just showing the guitar. I like doing this kind of stuff where you're doing the triads and, you know, just kind of just coming down the scale. Now I'm in dadgad. I'm not real warmed up, so I'm not trying to show off performance, just showing the guitar. But yeah, that's why the title of this guitar is Waking Up a 50-Year-Old Martin, because like I said, when I first got it, it sounded pretty good, but it didn't have that broad spectrum of tone. I wasn't hearing much reverb. The bass wasn't as good. The mid-range and the mid-bass, which is really where a lot of the magic happens, folks, is the mid-range and the mid-bass wasn't happening. So yeah. This really has a nice sound. See, that's a great note. And I started playing this a little bit finger style, but it just, yeah, really interesting guitar. I'm really gonna miss this. I'm just gonna say it. I can take 23 plus shipping on this. If you see it on YouTube, my polkzoo channel, I prefer not to go through Reverb, because then I got to pay them a couple $100. So I'd rather sell direct. But if you saw it on Reverb, then I don't want to try to skate around Reverb. But I can let this go for $2,300. It's worth it. I'll tell you, when you're looking at a great vintage guitar, if you're not, there's an old saying, I'm not sure where I heard it from. I might have made it up, but I think I heard it from somebody else, that if you're looking at a really great guitar, it's rare, especially if it's rare and vintage. And it's a matter of, you know, a few $100 either way, and you're not sure, buy it, because it's only going to go up in value. And that's not bullshit. It's really true. Yeah, this is really a resonant guitar. It's just got a really, really beautiful tone, and it's clean too, really clean. Yeah, it's so hard for me to sell stuff like this because I really love guitar. But yeah, this is really a beautiful guitar. I think it's an undervalued guitar too, you know. Really has a beautiful tone. Now I'm in dadgad. Holographic quality. It didn't have that when I first played it. Yeah, it's really, I can only imagine what this guitar is going to sound like in another 50 hours. It's kind of like breaking in good speakers. I'm an audiophile. I've had speakers that take 200 hours to break in. And it's the same thing with the guitar. Especially the older gentleman that owned this guitar, I bought it from one of his relatives. He said, yeah, he hardly ever played it. So. And I personally think that Martin, you know, designed this to kind of be more folksy and be a little unique voice as far as a nylon string guitar. Because it's got something a little more magical, a little different than most nylons and flamencos. It's got a woody quality to the bass and the mid bass. And like I said, the reverb's coming out more. This is really cool. I love stuff like this. But yeah, I think the special thing about an old guitar, if you've never had an old Martin, if it's a good one, because they're not all guitars are different and not all of them are great guitars. I've said this a million times. The great guitars are few and far between. And it's not just bullshit, you know. I work really hard to find great guitars, and I've got people that I've been buying from for years that you really have an ear themselves, and they know collectors, or their parents are collectors or whatever, that they know I'll pay them, you know, better than most places will pay, and I'll make a little less. But if you see one of my guitars that you like, my suggestions, don't worry about, you know, $200, $300, $400, because if you get a great guitar, and guitars are only going up in value. It's really an interesting thing. But that's some real tone. This guitar every night. But yeah, try my little trick of breaking in a guitar, and you may need to do this for a few hours, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 hours till you hear the difference, but you'll hear it, especially if the guitar hasn't been played much. Do the harmonics on the 12th fret, go the other way maybe, and just, you know, do it, let that kind of breathe, let that kind of penetrate the wood of the guitar. Then go to the 7th fret, and then the 5th fret. Yeah, this guitar is a whole different guitar. What a great sounding guitar. Again, not a performance, just showing the guitar. Maybe I should just add this guitar to my collection, huh? What do you guys think? People always email me and go, oh, it's such a great guitar, why'd you sell it? Well, you know, I pay bills like everybody else, you know. I help people. I helped a couple homeless people yesterday. I'm not trying to brag, but I like to not just worry, not worry, that's not the right word. I like to be helpful to other people besides myself, you know. I really cheered a couple people up yesterday that were homeless, that needed a little help, needed a little extra cash, and they really appreciated it. And I'm just sharing that, not to brag, but to maybe motivate you to maybe help somebody that needs some help, you know. But yeah, this is a hell of a box. I'll take 23 plus shipping. It just sounds incredible. Anyway, I'm in Dad. I was playing it last night, a little more finger. Trying to get my 4-finger tremolo back, where you do this finger and then these 3. Gotta wake up my right hand again. Yeah. Again, not a performance, just showing the guitar. This thing is clean, man. It's really, they took really good, and it's got a nice lightness to it. I think this is a very undervalued guitar. It just has a real tone. You know, the real guitars with real tone are rare. I see a little something on the back here. I don't know if it's a little lacquer crack. It could be a small little crack here. I don't know. It doesn't bother me at all. It's such a great guitar. Anyway. Anyway, just wanted to show it. But yeah, try that trick. Do the harmonics on the 12th fret. Wait a while. Andy Dufresne. It was the first time Andy and I talked about getting off the island. It's my Morgan Freeman. Celebrity impersonations is kind of a hobby of mine. And one of my sons does a lot of it too. Yeah, this guitar. See, it's starting to get that reverb, those overtones, those kind of growls. Can you hear the growl? Such a beautiful tone. I don't know. I own a lot of classicals. I forget how many I have, maybe 10. And I've had a lot of classicals over the years too. But there's something in this tone I've never heard in any nylon string. It's got more wood in the tone. It's got more wood and just a unique, kind of a Martin voice, you know. Like I said, I've only woken this up with maybe 5-6 hours of play. I can only imagine what it's going to sound like another 50 hours. But a lot of guitars are asleep, and that can be difficult when you're buying an older vintage guitar and you're trying to figure out if it's worth what you're going to pay for it. But people don't give away stuff like this, and I really believe this guitar is going to go up in value. A holographic orchestral voice that this guitar produces. Boy, I like that. Holographic orchestral. It's true though. It's really hard to describe guitars. Here's some of the growl. Anyway, I'll do 23 on this plus shipping. It has a case. I don't think it's a Martin case, but yeah, this guitar, it's a whole different guitar than when I first bought it. When I first bought it, the notes were more compressed. They weren't blooming. This guitar is blooming. Like I said, the reverb's coming out, the mid-range, the mid-bass. the orchestral, holographic, kind of crystalline quality. Again, hard to explain. But this is a lot of guitar for 2,300, and it's a vintage Martin, 55-year-old vintage Martin. I happen to believe the wood might even be older because it just sounds so good and it sounds so aged. Really has a tone. What a sound. That is some sweet ass tone. I think that's the secret, like a great Stradivarius violin worth 3 or 4 million, is it's got definition, but it's got warmth. It's got definition and clarity, but it's got bloom, overtones. It's got a relaxed definition, a musical, almost like a bubble, Create a lot of space here so you can hear the guitar. Like I said in my last few videos, a lot of people do such busy demos, you can't really hear the guitar. It's like Miles Davis says, create with space. This guitar is going to call somebody. Somebody's just, I hope it goes to a good home, because I really love this guitar. That's not sales bullshit. I love guitar. I've got major love affair with the instrument. I know you do too. By the way, the cheapest guitar is not always the best value. We just live in a discount dominant society. We've all been brainwashed with all the marketing and branding and neuro branding and all that shit, Bottom line, everybody's like, a little brainwashed by it, But yeah, the best value in a guitar is not always the cheapest one. I suggest to people that know me, don't shop with your wallet all the time. Don't make that the dominant factor. You find a special guitar. Find a guitar with the magic mojo. If you have to pay a little more than you want to, don't sweat it. Don't nickel and dime yourself, because you're going to have something, especially if it's a vintage guitar by a major brand, you're going to end up having something that's probably going to go up in value. I've been playing this game for 40 years, and boy, I look at my notes from what stuff it used to go for and what it's going for now. It's really gone up. So vintage guitars, especially by one of the huge companies like Martin, Gibson, Fender, but I'm kind of talking acoustics, But that's just a beautiful tone. All right, folks, so today's Metaphysical Thought. Let's just be positive. Be careful what you focus on. What you focus on is where your energy goes. And where your energy goes, you attract and align. You're always creating, whether you know it or not. So have faith in money matters and trust the universe. Affirmation I got from Access Consciousness, which I like a lot, is all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. And then I added to it, all of life comes to me and my entire family with joy, with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to me and my entire family with ease, joy, and glory. Universe is in the business of helping us, folks. You just need to align with it. And be careful what you focus on. Focus on what you want to attract, not what you don't want to attract. I should just keep this, right? Man, I've got a lot of guitars though. I'm thinking about it. So if you're interested, hit me up. If you saw it on Reverb, you can buy it through Reverb. If you saw it on polkzoo, I prefer you buy it direct from me so I don't have to pay the Reverb fees. But if you did see it on Reverb, I'm not trying to go around Reverb. I don't want to do that. Anyway, great guitar. You can text me 714-548-0385. I think I did find a small, it looks like mostly a lacquer crack here in the back. But yeah, this is an unbelievable guitar. Really so musical and just keeps sounding better and better and better every time I play it. It's really fun. Expansive. What a tone. Get that better, right? All right, folks, take care. You want to email me, stevezook7@yahoo.com. That's 7, not spelled out, the number. STEVEZOOK, the number 7@yahoo.com. 1969 Martin 0016C. I've played a lot of these too, trade shows, music stores. Never played one that sounds this good.